Makes no sense.
You said your equal 50% is just being there. So does that mean he's doing 70% because he's paying and there too? You're both there.
No, but I think
So how is that
showing the investment. Women show investment with time, because if you do want to have children, there's limited time. But I think that women, they value different things. Like, they value when a man provides for them, especially on a first date, a first meeting.
And men value.
So you providing your glorious presence is what he's investing in.
If he values my presence, yes. I don't really see
Well,
a
I mean,
huge
simps
issue.
are going to simp. There's a simp out there, for everyone. So
I don't think that's the right way to go about
it's simping. That's the worst simping ever. I'm going to let you live at my house for like practically free and split the chores and pay for all your shit. That's simping. That's like the
Or just like
definition
a guy
of
who
simping.
genuinely likes you. Do you pay any bills with your husband?
No, but I'm a stay-at-home mom. I raise the children. I cook all the meals. Andrew has never done a house chore ever in 17 years. I do all of that. I bring him his food. I bring him his drinks. I keep track of his schedule. Basically do anything he needs me to do to help him, because that's my duty in the relationship. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about investment, I'm pretty invested. So he feels like, if I want this traditional wife role and I actually do all those things, then he feels like it's worth it to provide. But if I were to come in here and be like, well, I want my own career and you have to do your own laundry and we're going to split the chores 50-50 and I want to be equal, he'd be like, okay, bitch, then you can be equal and pay for all your shit. Like, why would he pay for my stuff? This makes no sense.
What's up, beautiful people of YouTube? Hope you guys are feeling good. My name is Elario, and today I'm back with another super amazing video to check out with you guys. This is called Rachel Wilson Storms Whatever Podcast to Destroy Entitled Fat Girl for Insulting Andrew. Oh wow, this is going to be a blast. You know the drill, guys. We talk less and react more. Let's check this out.
So have you watched your husband talk to women on the podcast?
Yeah, I listen to every single podcast he does. I've also been on the podcast and I debate women all the time myself.
Okay.
In fact, I was listening to you earlier describe how you think that men should pay for dates with women who want to be equal, don't want to give them children, and also want to have their own careers. And that absolutely blew my mind.
You don't think that men should pay on the first date?
Oh, I think they should pay on the first date for women who are going to be wives, not for women like you.
I wouldn't be a wife?
Oh wow.
Not if you're going to refuse to give a man children, have to have your own career working outside the home.
It's not refusing to give a man children.
No, you're a roommate. Why would a man pay for you if you're just a roommate? Do you want to be equal or no?
Well, I have a conversation with my partner, and we've discussed having children. I'm not taking away from them having children. We've decided together that having children is probably not the best idea.
If you're equal partners, why should he pay for your stuff?
Because a man at the beginning of the relationship should want to prove that they are invested in the relationship.
So what are you proving? Like, well,
I'm there.
If it was a man, I'd be like, hell to the no, to the no, no.
If it's not equal, what do you?
I'd be like, no, thank you, ma'am. You can pay for your own supersized McValue meal, and I will go find a woman who actually wants to be a wife if I'm going to pay for shit.
You said your
makes no sense.
You said your equal 50% is just being there. So does that mean he's doing 70% because he's paying and there too? You're both there.
No, but I think
how is that
showing the investment. Women show investment with time, because if you do want to have children, there's limited time. But I think that women, they value different things. Like, they value when a man provides for them, especially on a first date, a first meeting.
And men value.
So you providing your glorious presence is what he's investing in.
If he values my presence, yes. I don't really see
Well, I mean,
huge
simps
issue.
are going to simp. There's a simp out there, for everyone. So
I don't think that's the right way to go about
it's simping. That's the worst simping ever. I'm going to let you live at my house for like practically free and split the chores and pay for all your shit. That's simping. That's like the
definition. Or just like a guy who
simping.
genuinely likes you. Do you pay any bills with your husband?
No, but I'm a stay-at-home mom. I raise the children. I cook all the meals. Andrew has never done a house chore ever in 17 years. I do all of that. I bring him his food, I bring him his drinks, I keep track of his schedule, basically do anything he needs me to do to help him because that's my duty in the relationship. So yeah, I mean, if you want to talk about investment, I'm pretty invested. So he feels like, if I want this traditional wife role and I actually do all those things, then he feels like it's worth it to provide. But if I were to come in here and be like, well, I want my own career and you have to do your own laundry and we're going to split the chores 50-50 and I want to be equal, he'd be like, okay, bitch, then you can be equal and pay for all your shit. Why would he pay for my stuff? This makes no sense. You guys have to choose. Do you want to be strong, independent, equal women, or do you want chivalry and protection and provision? You want the best of both. You want all of the rights and all of the privileges, and you want none of the duties and none of the responsibilities. And that's bullshit. It's like you didn't have a mom to tell you that this isn't how the world works or something. Like, my daughters don't get that nonsense from me. I'm like, no, that's not how that works.
So if your daughters...
Why are you so entitled? That's what I want to know.
If your daughters went on a first date, you want them to split the bill.
What's that?
If your daughters went on a first date, would you want them to split the bill?
Only if they're going to be feminists, which they're not, because I didn't raise them to be that way.
Okay.
So.
That's how my parents' relationship is. It's like my mom does the same stuff that you described, and I think it's perfect. Like, my mom might not be contributing to rent. My dad makes the money, but she's contributing something else. She's doing a job that's just as equal as his job, but she's not getting paid because she's doing the household duties that she's doing the same thing, whether or not it's being paid. Like, my parents are fortunate enough where my dad makes enough money where she doesn't have to work and she's able to provide those things. Therefore, it's the same thing as money, in my opinion, like spending time and working around the house.
Yeah, I mean, it even goes beyond division of labor. It's more than about division of labor. Like, I have tremendous amount of respect for Andrew. He is the head of the household. He's the person that has the major burden of most of the responsibility. We've had a home invasion. He was the person who had to go deal with that and risk his life. He's worked 60, 70-hour weeks for years so that I could stay home and our kids didn't have to be raised by strangers in daycare. I mean, there's a massive amount of responsibility on this man, and he's extremely competent. He is a really loving, honorable man who has very firm boundaries and stands by them and takes very good care of his family. So he gets the big piece of chicken, he gets the respect, he gets the love and the admiration, and because I'm loyal and I'm doing all those things, then he provides for me and protects me and the kids. And yeah, I mean, this is how it works. Now, if you don't want that and you want this egalitarian stuff where we're equal partners, he's my partner, then you got to pay for your own shit. And you got to do your own work, and you better take care of all your own stuff, and don't expect the man to go answer the bump in the night because you're strong, you're equal, right? If you're equal, you can go take care of that. You can go deal with the man that breaks in the middle of the night. You can change the tire in the rain. If the basement floods and there's sewage backing up into it, I guess you can go deal with that, right? So you just have to choose. Don't do this bullshit where you're like, we're equal partners, except for when there's anything dirty, dangerous, difficult. That's all his job. I just sit here and grace him with my glorious presence. That's entitlement, that's narcissism, it's terrible behavior, it's ruining society. And then on top of it, you feel no obligation to produce future generations. You want him to just let his lineage die with him. And you feel super entitled to that too. It's like,
I don't understand why you can't get the concept that I've talked to my partner. I'm not taking away his ability to have children. We've both agreed we don't want to have children. If he doesn't want to have children, I'm not taking that away from him.
To be fair, I did say he's a pathetic simp. So, I mean, that's right in line with being a pathetic simp.
I think he would just respect women's choices.
Until I die. It's just, you guys are selfish materialists is what I'm getting. Life is about me and my comfort and what I want and my, I live for me every day. I wake up with no thought of the future or any duties or responsibilities I have to anyone other than myself, and that's great. So it's like, if you want to live that way, I guess, but I'm just looking at you and I'm listening to you and I'm wondering where this entitlement and this sense of confidence is coming from.
I'm
because I'm just like,
entitled because I don't want to have children and I like when men pay on first dates. That's entitlement.
what are you useful for?
I would say that women have intrinsic value. Just
No,
as
you. What are
me
you
specifically? Well, I'm a
like,
woman,
yeah.
so I have intrinsic value. Sad that you
From-
don't see that.
Why? How?
Because I'm a person,
'Cause
and
you're
everyone
bleeding?
has everyone has value. It depends on who's looking at you.
Do men
and
have
seeing it.
intrinsic value?
Yeah, they do. But I said that it's different. It's a different type of value.
But feminism is about equality. So if it's different, then how is that equal?
No, they can be equal in the sense of they can both work. You can be a stay-at-home mom and not pursue a career. That's fine, but women should have the opportunity and the choice.
So do you think women should work too?
Women should be allowed to work.
No, I mean like in your relationship, if you're not raising kids, should you both in your marriage, let's say you get married, have a job, both of you?
Yeah, but I think that a woman's job could be a little less harsh, I guess. Like women shouldn't have to go work some 9 to 5 and do this climbing of a corporate ladder. But like for myself, I've found a job that allows me to stay home and is not super strenuous. And I think that a lot of women should be able to have the option to either stay at home or work.
What would you do?
Lol Paladins donated $69. W to Rachel. L to fat prostitute feminists who have no value and TikTok he who hate men and provide no value to society. The problem is they had mothers, but their mothers are bad people.
My mother's amazing. I love her very much.
It's wild to me because you asked, do I hear how my husband talks to women? I
Giovanni
actually think he's
JD
way too
donated
nice.
$69. Don't forget,
There's two more
first
coming
Cher
in.
did it as well,
Thank you, Jim.
including BG, and said she couldn't remember if she ever did B/B/G. Pretty sure anyone that's got gangbanged and posted it would remember.
I have not gotten gangbanged, and BBG is not the same thing as a gangbang, but okay.
Threesome. Have you done a threesome?
Not two guys.
GMD Jim donated $69. You called him your partner. Partners split expenses.
Two more
He
after
is
this.
not your husband. He could just hire a cleaner and a
Thank you,
prostitute
Jim.
with a nice body. You are just too ungrateful, leech.
I don't think he would agree with that, but okay.
There's another one coming in. Random Bear.
Random
thank you.
underscore bear donated $69.
And one
Rachel
more.
be like, I got out of bed for this and look this good. I will bring the heat.
We must.
I look terrible.
No.
Terrible, but thank you. It's fine. It's
Wait,
fine.
you're shaking your head. A star. That's not very judgment.
Judgment.
Also,
Love your
Rachel looks very dapper. Rachel looks very dapper.
Jeff
I
Bader
literally
donated
just like put on
$200.
face cream and was like
Rachel is
tucking myself
Titus
into bed, and
2, 4 to
Andrew comes
5.
upstairs. So
Rachel is Titus 2:4-5. What's that?
that's the Titus 2 wife. It's like a description of like what an honorable woman is and how she acts and operates in the world. So thank you. That's a lovely compliment. I certainly have my flaws. It's not
make
like
a mental note to
I'm over
check
here
that
being a
later.
perfect wife or anything, but the point is I try and I care about,
Brian's
trying to
lint
do
roller
something
donated $69. Rachel is out of the kitchen, but she's still fugging, cooking.
She's cooking, all right? She's
Okay.
cooking.
Now, since Rachel also came down, she wanted to address, I guess, your criticisms. You said, Andrew, he has animosity towards women and that he hates women.
Yes, and so does she. And
Captain
Oh, boy.
donated
Oh, boy.
$69.
Found someone just
I
as
definitely
mean-spirited.
take a bullet for the girl in the white crop top. This girl
Yeah,
is
this
based and
second
hot.
girl.
The world needs more of that. She'd be a great woman for any man.
Or girl.
Like, looking
I want to
at her,
address
you won't even
the gal with
I'll
the pink
pause
hair
that.
real
She
quick
thinks
like that,
because
but
I did
wow,
hear her
she
say
blew my
that.
mind.
It is not hatred to criticize women. It is in no way hateful to notice when women are acting like entitled narcissists and to call them out on that. Like I said, all the women at this table could tell me all night long about what they think they deserve and what their rights are and what they should have and what they ought be able to do. But none of you can tell me what duties, responsibilities, or obligations you have outside of yourself, to society, to the people around you. You would say things like, I'm smart and I'm funny and I'm just a really great person and I'm a good friend, and all these worthless platitudes. But there's no like sacrifice. You don't ever feel you need to sacrifice anything for anyone outside yourself. You're not willing to have sleepless nights so that you can raise babies and produce human beings that are going to go out into the world and have a legacy and have an effect, right? You're not really willing to do much of anything unless it benefits you. And then if someone questions, if Andrew comes on here and says, let me poke around and see why you think these things. Let me see if there's any logic behind your beliefs. Let me see if you even understand why you believe the things you believe. You think that's hateful. You think that's misogynistic. You think he's mean. No, it's just that you're used to being treated like a child princess and being carried around on a cushy little pillow in life with absolutely no opposition, with nobody ever going, hey, wait, what are you doing? What are you providing in life? What are you doing for anyone else outside yourself? You haven't ever been challenged on anything because you're a pretty girl, right? I'm young and I'm
not
cute.
true.
Why
You
are
don't
you
know
questioning me? Why are you so hateful? Where's all the trauma? No, I'm just a 44-year-old woman who's actually lived, raised 5 children, worked really hard in my life for everything I have. I take care of, other family members. I help at my church. I do things that aren't just for me. So when I see girls that behave this way and have this mentality, you're damn right I'm gonna come on here and say some shit, especially if I get dragged out of bed to defend, this little girl that's saying my husband must be traumatized and hates women. It's just garbage. You're full of shit. You have no idea what you're talking about.
So these are
I
the
hope
people
that
of
helps.
the Orthodox Church? You guys seem lovely. I would love to go to the Orthodox Church.
I think you're upset
so
because
sweet and loving.
coming from someone
Lovely.
who I know personally, I'm not a 10. I am very self-aware in that regard. I think that there might be animosity coming from you because you're maybe not as good looking.
Oh, I'm definitely not. I've been on the show. I've rated myself. But I grew up in an era where we didn't all think we were models. When you were growing up in the 80s and 90s, everyone didn't think they were a 10. Like, all of us girls who were not going to have modeling careers or be the hot cheerleader, we all knew that, and we were fine with it. And we didn't think we deserved 6 foot, 6-pack, 6-figure man. We were just like happy to meet a nice boy who liked us back. This was before
But you're
Instagram
calling
and all
those
this
boys
crazy narcissistic
simps.
insanity. Huh?
You're calling those boys simps.
No, I'm calling your boy a simp. He's a simp.
wow.
That's simping.
That was
a nice
that
boy
was
who likes you
specific.
isn't the same thing as some absolute goober who's gonna pay for all your crap.
He's not paying for
expect
everything.
anything.
I'm just saying at the beginning of the relationship, on the first couple dates, a man should take the investment and pay for the first couple dates.
She's not paying for everything. She said that his family's paying for some.
Yeah.
And I think
Oh.
it's only fair that I pay a portion of rent,
For a girlfriend,
mortgage.
you're not even married. Why would his family pay for your stuff? You're not
they're
married
not.
to this
You
guy.
said that
They're
his
not.
brother
Doesn't
or
make sense.
something about
They
the
all
apartment.
like a
own a
Nepo
home,
family.
and I help with
She pays the water
some
bill.
of the bills.
She pays some of the mortgage.
I pay some of
But-
the mortgage.
But
pays the
that's not
water
even
bill.
my question is, it's not even fitting to the dynamic that you're expressing so much interest in. Like, you're expressing so much interest in not only the first dates, but that you also want to be supported by this person. And this
I don't
dynamic,
think that means not paying any bills or doing any sort of housework or like helping in the relationship. Like, I don't think that it's entitled. I just think that it's a better dynamic long term for a man who has the financial stability to be with them rather than a man who doesn't have any sort of future plan to provide for you.
Do you think the woman needs a future or plan, though?
I think that women should, and this might be controversial too. Is she gone?
she's here.
She's still here?
She's still here.
Oh, okay. I think it might be controversial, but I think women, even if they're not working a traditional 9 to 5, should have some sort of money saved up separate from their husbands in case there's domestic violence or there's divorce or things like that. Like, you should have some of your own income.
I don't think you need a keepsake of like if there's domestic violence. I think like you
For
need
your
to
own
be
sake.
contributing. Yeah, like you should feel safe in your relationship and like pick something. If you want a job, and that's equal. Or you could do the equal housework and have kids. Like there's an equality thing that's different. Feminists believe that there's equality, but you're talking about things not being equal.
I think it is equal. Like I'm.
I am
helping
going to jump
contribute.
off here because Andrew's going to come back, and I am actually going to go to bed. But does anybody have any like final questions or phones to pick
I
at all?
think Star back there had like a thing she wanted to come back and say.
I'm just curious if anyone on the.
Sorry, what?
I really don't have anything to say.
Oh.
I'm just curious if anyone else on the show has brought up like internalized misogyny to you.
Yeah, I get it every day of my life. So you don't know my background,
okay.
but I wrote a book about the history of feminism and how almost everything that the normal person thinks about it is actually wrong. The way that the feminist liberation movements unfolded is garbage that was rewritten history by women's studies departments. And I debate feminists all the time, so this is normal for me. Of course, I've heard absolute garbage bullshit like internalized misogyny. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist. It's pure cope.
Okay.
I love women, but I do think that women have proper roles. And I think that the biggest problem, the problem with you and most of the other girls that have a problem with me, is that you don't understand that this modern world and all this beautiful technology around you that you're sitting in right now, if it weren't for men building that and maintaining that, you would have no illusion of being able to be a strong, independent woman and have all these choices and do what
But
you
why
want.
do men do all of that?
They do it because they're benevolent and they are good. Isn't that crazy? They're actually really nice and they care about us even though they don't have to.
But they're getting
If men
something out of
If men
you.
were as bad and misogynistic as you think, they would put us in cages and we'd be, baby farms. There would be baby farms.
I think you might be a little bit of a baby farm.
Because they could. No, they could.
You're
They
a bit
could
of a
do that
baby
to us
farm.
with
Haven't
men.
you popped out 5 children?
Yeah.
You're
I'm
a baby
mother.
farm.
Oh.
I
is
think
that
that's the
supposed to be an
ultimate form of
insult?
sex work, actually.
What's that?
I think that you popping out 5 children is the ultimate form of sex work because without those children, would your husband provide for
degrading
you?
language. Wait a minute. Why
you
are
think
you
your
using
parents
degrading
are a
language?
baby farm?
Popping out babies. Popping out babies? This
Well,
is so
if
you're
you-
against
If you didn't
people having babies?
if you didn't provide children, would your husband marry you?
No.
Exactly.
Why should he?
Exactly. So you're a baby farm to him.
Marrying
No,
someone is
these
also
are
about
my
starting a
children.
family.
Yeah, a family.
These are my
A
children
baby
too.
farm,
You
essentially.
should
Do you
be so lucky because you're gonna die alone.
Okay.
Early.
Thank
Probably
you so
early
much.
on
Wait.
top of that. So
Thank you so
I mean,
much.
if you would you like me to go wake up my children and get them down here too, so you can tell them that they're like
No.
gross little.
I don't think it's
trophies,
appropriate.
That
I don't think it's really
popped
appropriate.
them out. That they're the result of baby farm. I mean, take your little snarky little insults and shove them up your ass because
Okay.
Do you think
it's
your
women like
parents
me.
did that?
It's women like me
My
who are
chil-
doing
my parents only
what
had
women
one
are supposed
child.
to do.
My parents
You
only
are
have
That was a
useless. You are a
mistake,
useless heifer who has never done anything except
You're
gratify your
a
own
great
desire.
woman.
Be nice.
You're a very godly woman, aren't
Both of
you?
you be nice.
You started it. Hey, you can dish it out, but you can't
I
take
started it. Didn't you come on? You're talking about
called me a
McFlurries or
baby farm.
something.
You called me a baby farm, and now you're going to pretend to be offended? Get the fuck
I
out.
said you're the ultimate sex worker, actually.
Okay.
Well, she's a
Yeah,
mother.
me being devoted to one man for 17 years and giving him
You're the
children is
ultimate.
sex work.
You're the
Okay.
ultimate
So
sex
your parents
worker.
are also part of a baby farm because you were born.
My mom had one child, and she
What does
also
that ever
worked.
do?
She,
So-
but I know that my parents would have gotten married without having to have children.
If I milk a
Shut
cow, the cow's still providing milk, though, even if
On
I
the
only milk him
farm.
once. So you're
Now
calling
look,
yourself.
we don't believe that marriage is only for the purpose of children. Had we gotten married and for some reason biologically I couldn't, I had a medical issue and could not give Andrew children, he would not have divorced me and he would not have left me. That's not what we believe in. We believe that marriage is also a sacrament of our church. You don't get divorced for a reason like that. However, why would a man marry a woman who's giving him nothing like you are? You don't bring
Absolutely
See, you
not.
just don't
anything
value
to the man except
you don't
what?
value women for just being us. Like you just don't.
I
see-
value people, but that's different than what a man would want to get married for. Why do you not understand these basic distinctions?
A man could want to
Same-
get married without wanting to have children, but that's not what your husband did with
Nope.
you, honey.
No man does
Honey.
that except for a simp. Or
No.
some guy who's just
Men-
a
some
cougar
men just don't wanna
materialist
have
who doesn't want a
children.
family.
Sweetie. Sorry.
Sweetie, honey. Yeah, I love these feminists are always, sweetie, honey. They get so sassy, but this is going to be
You're
Clip's
very
gold.
sassy.
Yeah. Well, listen, I was dragged out of bed because you're sitting here insulting my husband and saying, oh, your wife must be some victim or there must be trauma. Maybe your wife is bad to you. You're saying all kinds of personal garbage. And then when I come on here and tell you what's what, you're like, how dare she? She's so mean. She's not a good Christian. It's like, well, then don't say this stupid shit, lady. Don't come on here and talk a bunch of smack. And then when I come down here and set you straight, you're like, oh, I'm shocked and offended.
You definitely didn't set anyone straight.
Oh, well, the chat disagrees with you. And it's
Okay.
straight, not straight. I don't know.
What do you
Women
have?
do this
I think
weird
it.
thing where they say
You're just
strawberry. and
pandering.
I think
You're
it
just
shows.
pandering.
I think it shows the type of woman you are. The fact that you got out of bed and came down here to not only defend your husband, but to defend women at the right instinct that they should be in. So
Hell, the main reason I do the stuff I do is because I was really shamed for not going down a career path. I had a full college scholarship that I declined because I wanted to be a mom instead, and everyone around me thought it was some massive tragedy, that I was going down the wrong path. I was going to regret not being a career babe. Everybody said, oh, it's such a shame you're just a mom. And turns out there's nothing I could have done with my life that's more meaningful than having 5 children, raising them well, and being a good mom. There's nothing I
Raising
could do
them
in
well,
the career world
being
that's
a
going
good
to
mom.
last
Emphasis.
the way that will have a lasting impact in this world. And I was shamed for it, and I was made to feel like, oh, I was losing somehow in life. So yeah, I don't want other women to feel that way. I want to stick up for women who do want to be good wives, who do want to be good mothers, who think that that's a worthwhile thing to do with their lives, and not have them be subject to being called baby factories by disrespectful, chunky heifers with attitude problems who can't even properly articulate a single thought in their head. So with that,
wow.
I'm going to go to bed, and you guys can talk to the nice Wilson instead. Maybe you'll feel better now when he comes back on.
Continue pandering to men.
Rachel,
Wow. Like, wow. Man. Okay. This was explosive. This was full-blown explosive. Bro, her energy. Man. Okay. You see, I don't even know where I'm going to start, but as some people say, you just have to start from the beginning. Okay. This was a woman, a wife, a mother coming out to defend her husband, defend motherhood, and every value she holds there. Man. Okay. First off, I'm just gonna say modern day feminism is crap. It's full of insightful theories against men, full of rubbish, actually. There's no need expatiating on the nonsense they actually emphasize on. But let's start from what triggered this entire talk. Should a man pay for your first date together? And should he pay for everything that you have? Okay. I'm going to be looking at this from 2 sides. And first off, just as Rachel said, a man should pay for what you have or pay for what you're getting when he sees a future with you. And by a future, he can start a family with you. He can count on you as a wife. He can count on you as a mother. Now, this other lady, I'm not going to use any pejorative word there, lady in white, she's of the opinion that just gracing the man with your presence is enough for him to pay for your stuff. Now, on the other hand, away from all this man-woman theory, as a human being, Why should you want to be utterly dependent on someone without wanting to like give anything in return? That's parasitic. You're obviously a parasite. I don't know why ladies have this theory nowadays that a man must pay for everything down to the tampons they use. It's sick. Irritating even. You should be able to get your own stuff, if not for anything, for the respect. For the respect. I'm talking about as you as a single lady. You have to be able to stand on your own, weather the storms, and not be looking for a man to settle your every bill like you don't have hands or you're handicapped. Okay, now back to the main issue. Well, I do agree with Rachel here on a number of reasons. She's Orthodox clearly, so I'm going to stand on the aspect of religion because that's basically what I stand on. And in the Bible, the Adam and Eve story, God said Adam would till the ground with his sweat and he will bring out fruit. And to Eve, he said, with pain will you conceive children and you shall look after the home. Now, this is just a brief summary. But it's clearly stated there the roles of the man and the woman in the family. The man is meant to work and provide. And the woman is meant to be a mother to the children, to support the man, to actually manage and oversee everything he brings to the home. Now, the world has fast evolved from what it was a couple of years ago, centuries ago. And we now see the need for women to actually get their own finances. Although it's not a criterion per se, if you see a man like this woman's husband, a good man, that is willing to, stand by you, that is willing to support you, and you, being a woman, you already have it at the back of your mind that men and women are not equal, can't be equal. For even the Bible says that the man is the head of the home. And as the head of the home, he's literally the general overseer of everything concerning the home. So you trying to drag equal space with that man and expecting him to oversee everything is balderdash. If you're dragging for equal space, then you both should have equal responsibilities. He shouldn't pay for everything you have or want to get. And if you, just as she said, she's just a lazy female, if I'm to put it that way, because you don't want to have kids. You have pressurized your simp partner into not having kids, and yet you feel like a woman should not have, or you shouldn't have strenuous jobs that will make you work 9 to 5. Let me tell you something. If you're gonna chase a career, if you want to climb up the corporate ladder, as she phrased it, then you should be ready to give it your all. Now, not everybody would want to be a stay-at-home mom. I mean, just as I said, the world has evolved. So in the context today, we see a lot of cases of domestic violence, homicides, all manner of ugly things happening in the home. And when it is known that this woman had no finances of her own, I know she's, called out for that. And only in that context do I agree with that girl that you should have your separate finances. But the reason she gave is what I do not fully agree with, because yes, you should have your own finances in case of that kind of case scenario where you see the need to leave the relationship, in the sense that that domestic violence has actually or is actually leading to the loss of your life, is a threat to your existence, then you can pull out. But then, just as the other guy in the crop top said, yeah, if you want to really have your own finances, it should actually be with the mindset that you want to contribute to the growth of the home, not as a jailbreak. So if situation calls for you to have that jailbreak, then fine. But it should be with the mindset that you want to contribute to the growth of the home, not because you want to run. Now, I don't even want to get started on the baby farm aspect, because it's wrong for you to call out an evidently good mother and wife for just merely having children. It's wrong for you to term her as a baby factory. That's a very, very obscene thing to say, or to call her a sex worker. You can't call her a harlot because she's faithful to one man or she has 5 children. And you know, when the lady in the white crop top said, okay, this could actually apply to your parents because they actually had a child. And she said, no, her parents had only one child. And she's quite sure that they could have stayed married without kids. I mean, it would have been well better for the society if they had stayed married without that kid, because she is the product of that union, and what she's spilling doesn't make sense, because it's not even reasonable. It's not practicable. How do you expect a man to actually be fine with allowing his lineage to die out? No sensible person would want that. And I do agree, Rachel, for calling her partner, as she put it, a simp. If he's your partner, then you guys should have equal rights, equal shares, equal responsibilities, equal duties. But no matter how much they preach equality, they never want to actually drive for that equality. All right? Because, okay, just as she said, they had a home invasion, and her husband actually went to check it out. Now, if you feel you're partners, then you could as well check that out. But then you feel, oh no, it's a man's duty. If you do have that belief that, okay, it's a man's duty, then deep down, in your subconscious, in your head, there's something telling you that there are some things that a man should do that a woman shouldn't do, no matter how drawn you may feel to do them. Because sometimes, yeah, you could feel like, okay, you can protect yourself, you can provide for yourself. Yes. But you should have it at the back of your mind that when you're married, when you're in a relationship with someone, because you can even imagine she's not married to this guy, and yet his family pays for some of her things. Like, who does that? Who actually does that? She. So when you're married, you should have it at the back of your mind that, okay, you're with a man now. The home now has a head. And the man's duty is to protect, provide, and profess. The 3 P's. Think like a man, act like a woman. It's a guide on how to live as an everyday woman, by, I think, Steve Harvey. Can't really remember the author. But this was 3 things he said that a man loves to do in a relationship. And if he sees that you want to take this away from him, he starts to withdraw. The man professes his love to you. The man provides for you. The man protects you. If you feel like you're overly independent, you can pay for everything, that's fine. But as a woman, as a wife, you should rein in those independent horses and let the man do his job. And there was a thing the lady on crop top said, about motherhood. She said, the stress, the strain is just as hard as, working a career and all that. But the fact is, even if she's not getting paid, she's doing what she loves. Now, on that context, motherhood is not a job. Because for a job, it requires a salary. It requires, some off days. It requires some wages. And for the fact that women today have been warped into that line of thinking that it's a job, when they don't see or reap those supposed benefits that they want to get, they pull out. If anything, motherhood is a voluntary service. It should be done because you want to do it. Because you feel pulled to do it. But when you see it as something that you have to do for the reward, for the benefits, then you're not going to get anywhere. And if you're getting married, you should know that motherhood is something that you should sign for. Now, Miss Rachel did say another thing. You are calling me out as a baby farm because I'm trying to be a good wife and a good mother and raising my kids well. See, every female rather, can be mothers, but not every female can be a good mother. We have very few of those particular type of women now, thanks to this modern feminist ideology. Some women think, I brought the kids into this world. It's the man's duty to bring them up. That's wrong. If anything, it should be parenthood. It should be parenthood. The father figure is there to instill discipline in the home. So it should be done out of love. Motherhood, that is. It should be done out of love. Not because you see some rewards for it. And as this girl said, even though she was not getting paid, emphasis on the paid. And yes, most modern day women will tell you, okay, they think motherhood is very hard. They don't want to go into it. They're scared. Look, the thing is, motherhood is hard. No one said it's easy. But it's not the hardest thing to do in the world. For the fact that a lot of people are doing it, you should actually reason. It's not the hardest thing to do in the world. Don't let anyone put that fear into your head. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't achieve that. Just as that girl on the crop top said, if you also want to have a job, fine, that's on you. But once you're married, your first obligation is to your family, is to your kids. Now, I can't really touch on everything they said, but I'm of the opinion that if you're going to see your husband as the head, if you're going to see him as a husband to begin with, if you're going to see him as the head, if you're going to see him as the decision maker, if you're going to see him as the person you look up to and the home to have the final say, then you should be provided for. Then you should be protected. But if you feel like you guys are equal, if you feel like you can rub shoulders with him, if you feel like you're not going to listen to what he says because you are independent or you're the boss of you, then you can't expect him to do all the things a man would want to do for a woman in a relationship. You don't expect him to actually dote on you as a wife. You can't expect him to actually value you as the would-be mother of the kids if, with your radical theories, you do agree to be a mother. The world today is based on a lot of wrong theories, especially on the concept of feminism. Modern day feminism has deviated, gone very far from what it was set out to be. We don't know, at some point in history, some men took it too far. The issue of male dominance and head of the home. But I'm just going to say this. It's in the Bible. The woman is your helper, not your slave. She is your assistant, not your footstool. Because there are some men out there who actually believe that once they marry a woman, she becomes their slave. And they actually own her. Well, that's a wrong ideology. God said, when Adam was in the Garden of Eden, I see that the man is alone and lonely. I will make him a companion. She is your companion. She is your helper. And so feminism today is actually teaching women a far different thing from the values that we should actually know and embrace. Feminism today, as I said earlier, is total crap. A whole load of explosive garbage. It should not even be considered. If you want to look back and see what feminism was all about, I enjoin you to. But then when you do, you see that what they are preaching today is wrong in every ramification. Guys, I'm sure we learned a thing or two from this video. Please do tell us what you think in the comment section. And please remember to leave a thumbs up at the end of this video. If you just joined the channel for the first time, please click that bell button to be notified when we drop a new video. And please remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. And stay safe.